Hello, Clemson fans. Welcome to the Fun Fan Halloween edition. It's time for a scary story. Once upon a time, there was a Clemson Tiger team with 4 losses, 2/3 of the way into the season.
Before Halloween.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's scary. Very scary. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. That's enough of the Halloween version. I'm your host, as always, James Dillard. With me, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
Good.
We're going to get some of our other stuff together. Some of my props. Had to make up some of my props. Hey, we're going to have a great show today. And we were talking about how positive we were going to be last week. Bailey might still be positive. I'm not going to be negative. How about that? We're not going to be negative. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going on. More upsets than just Clemson this past Saturday. The college football playoff rankings are coming out this Tuesday. We're going to talk about that for a second, and we're going to do our best to try to say something fun. Bailey came up with the fun for us this week, so we appreciate that. But first,
that's right.
The Fun Fans are a proud part of the Fanboys, Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys, Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all forms of social media. The Fun Fans are the official podcast for Clemson fans.
And we'd also like to thank Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, the best wings around, with 2 locations in the upstate at 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. You can find them at ReubenC.com, and it's just a great place to eat for sports fans. And don't forget about Diamond Edge products, which we will mention in more detail later.
Diamond Edge products, and show you some samples. So, Clemson drops another game. I'm officially declaring this a rebuilding year. It's official. Put a stamp on it. It's a rebuilding year. We're rebuilding. And I don't know, maybe we are. In a lot of ways we are. We have a new offensive coordinator. Basically, we have a new quarterback. Just throwing my thoughts out there. Some pretty obvious, and like I say, trying not to be negative, but it's getting harder and harder to be positive. First of all, there's a theory out there that DJ's dad put a curse on us, something like that. And I would honestly believe that at this point, because that pick 6, it's almost like somebody drew that up. That linebacker couldn't have been in a better spot, which maybe I went back and watched that. He's on the opposite side of the ball. He's on the weak away from the play side until Cade goes to throw it. And it's like he knew where. It's just crazy. It's just crazy the way some of this stuff is happening. But we're just not playing well. We're playing like we're just not playing well. And another real theory is I saw something where it took our overall years of experience of our coaching staff, and we're about 200 years short as a group compared to the 2016 staff.
Yeah,
I mean, this got anything to do with it?
Well, I mean, look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. You coach long enough, every now and then things are not going to go the way you think they should go. And then it just, instead of something going right, it just doesn't happen. Clemson's not a good road team. They're not a good, they're a mediocre football team right now. And that's the truth. That's not me being negative. I'm positive that they're mediocre.
Yeah, that's right.
And we can sit here and people can put whatever. There are people that put stuff out there online that it blows my mind. Like some guy just blasts everything Clemson does, and he's a Clemson fan. That's not being a fan. Okay, I love Clemson. And when you asked me to rank my top 6 teams, I almost put them in there because I love Clemson.
Right.
All right. But
that would have been a little bit biased.
It's just where we are right now. It's just where we are. And now we know what other schools that go through this yearly feel like.
Yeah.
Well, it maybe we are cursed. Maybe someone's trying to send us a message that maybe we should appreciate the time we had and the time that we're going to have. because
Well,
bottom line is Antonio Williams makes a huge difference. Nolan Turner would make a huge difference on offense. Those guys are not playing.
yeah, we were missing a couple of defensive players, and I'm
Yes,
not sure why. And the defense did great. I mean, the defense
absolutely. I
the
thought
defense
2
did
big plays.
unbelievable. Yeah, they gave up 2 big plays. But to build on, to go with what you're saying, this is I've experienced. I'm on board, of course, and 100% agree with what Dabo said. And I'm all about the bandwagon, getting cleaned off a little bit, and the bandwagon's probably pretty much empty at this point. But at this point, and I say this with all the love in the world and personal coaching experience, it's also looks like it's about time for the staff and the players. Hopefully they've been humbled, and sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you get to a point where, I mean, I've really got that feeling the past couple of years, and definitely this season, where a lot of those players think that you put on that uniform with that paw, and the paw has a lot of power, but the paw does not guarantee a win. You have to work, you have to focus, and I'm not saying, I know those kids are working, but there's just that little bit of more edge. We're missing a little bit. We could overtime games, 1-score games, missed field goals, and that kind of stuff. We're still, we're this close from 4 losses now, but we're still that close. And that attitude of the players thinking or not thinking that they can show up and win. The state championship I was on the staff with, we got humbled in the middle of the season by a team that should have never beat us. And that was the best thing that could have happened to us. And we went on and won a state championship. The next year, we returned like all but 2 out of 22 starters. And we thought we were world beaters. And we went through everybody in the regular season like a hot knife through butter. And as soon as the team in the playoffs, it was halfway decent, showed up, we got beat because we thought, we didn't it was just a little bit of practice different, a little bit of focus different that year. And I thought maybe that was what would happen after Florida State. But, now we got 1/3 of the season left. Okay. Like you said, this is who we are. There was in a group, some friends were all Clemson grads this morning. You think we're going to, play better the rest of no, this is how we're going to play.
Right.
This is
we did not play well against Wake Forest.
No.
Our best football game of the year was against Florida State.
Correct.
We haven't played well since. We didn't play well against Charleston Southern.
That's the
so Florida, I don't know why people think all of a sudden we're going to.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Receivers are not open when teams play man-to-man.
Yep.
All right. We don't block. If they can drop 2 deep safeties and play man under and get pressure with 4, we have problems.
Yeah.
That's how Clemson made a living on defense when they were winning national championships. So
we are, this is who we are, but those players and those coaches are definitely good enough to find a way to win, more games from here on out than we lose. Now, we're going to win out? Probably not.
No, it's tough. There's no guarantees.
Right.
Georgia Tech's playing much better.
Holy
North Carolina's stumbled a little bit, but you got Notre Dame. Clemson is only a 3-point underdog right now against Notre Dame. And I guess it's because it's at home.
Definitely because it's at home. But even, they say that gives you 3 points. So we're still a 1-score dog to Notre Dame's. Well, and that's the thing. We are a good team. Everybody in the world is waiting on us to play like we have the potential to play, including Vegas, apparently. So, we'll see. And we get up. We're at home. We get up for the big games. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if we beat Notre Dame. I wouldn't be surprised.
It wouldn't surprise me either. It wouldn't
Not
surprise me if they won the next 3 at home.
Correct.
It wouldn't surprise me. If the people out there listening will just come and be positive and cheer and like, you've been to plenty of games with me.
Yeah.
I watched the game.
Yeah.
I don't yell at people. I yell when we do well. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of being on this podcast. I'm saying it because that's how I watch the game.
That's how he does it. Bailey claps and gives high fives.
Because it's just what am I gaining out of doing that? And I just learned that a while back. And referees will tell you that I used to be tough on them, and then all of a sudden it's almost like it hit me, and I say, you know what? It does me no good to be tough on those referees. It's a hard job.
Well,
Anyway,
speaking of
that's
flip side,
that's my
flip,
take on this.
there you go. Flips, and I mean the kids played hard. Cade looks like it's his first game every game so far. Bless his heart. He one series he looks like he's 5-star like he was, and the next one they just don't look right or something.
I mean, it makes some unbelievable throws, and then he makes some you go, okay.
Yeah,
but
he's
like his first game. To win. He wants to win.
He wants to win, and we still can't get out of our own way. That first series, the very first possession,
great play call.
Great play call. We're about to convert on third down, and then we're holding 12 yards down the field where it don't even matter.
Right. It was the play was past where they called holding. Now,
correct.
You know,
I saw it though. It went right.
Yeah, I mean he held him.
He definitely
for a reason. But and sometimes that's not called holding. It depends on who does it. Hey, I'll give you an example. We played a game the other night where one of our offensive linemen didn't have his mouthpiece in. They sent him off the field.
Wow.
But the other team's quarterback played the entire game with his mouthpiece hanging from his face mask. Okay, so
I would be
double standard.
There's no way I'd be able to be quiet.
No.
In that case,
I have to be because I'm just the athletic director.
Hey, speaking of, so at the games now, I might yell a little bit at the games at the people on the field, and they hear me just a little. But I'm mainly yelling at the referees. If some player from the opposing team tries to act big and bad, sometimes I might call him out, whatever, but nothing like bad. But it's mainly the referees. And speaking of the referees and those holding calls, Bailey, you're the research guy. How many penalties did NC State have yesterday?
Not many.
Now I'm not blaming the law. We did not play well and we did not win. But that hit on Shipley. How in the world, even my 23-year-old daughters were texting me saying, wasn't that targeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it was. Hit him in the head with his head. I mean, I don't know how much more targeting you could get.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's lucky he's not really hurt.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. The way he laid there, that was a little scary.
Well, and see, when that happens, I mean, 99 other times out of 100, they're going to throw the flag at least to look at it on replay. How they didn't throw a flag and say, we're going to review, because it's an automatic review. It's not like we're going to go by what they saw or didn't see live. How that wasn't at least looked at, somebody needs to be, and see, it's a big deal now, and everything's about money. How can somebody not get sued over? That's like negligence to the point of, and there were other times I'm like, North Carolina, they ain't called for nothing. And there was one time Aroro stood up from doing something. Aroro, did I say it right?
Yes. Did you? Well, on the sack that he had, he got held.
His
and
jersey,
they didn't call it. They didn't call it.
His jersey, his pads were pulled out from his jersey. He got held so bad and didn't even call it. And I mean, it's happening right there at the play. I just, and you know what? Not blaming it on the refs. We didn't play well.
I am positive the refs missed some.
I'm positive those. It made me ready to get out of the ACC because I'm about to say, are the other conference, are the Big Ten refs any better?
Look,
probably not.
Everybody likes to get on the referees. It's a hard job.
Speaking of our conference, look, I ain't getting into that. Bottom line, this is where it's hard not to get frustrated. All this stuff needed to happen for Clemson to have a chance to play Florida State again, and like almost all of it's happening except for Clemson winning the games they needed to win. So,
and it's going to be Florida State and Louisville and Charlotte, and they can meet in the middle and play.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And our friends down there in Clemson, we'll get to there's some other upsets. Not that Texas A&M was favored over South Carolina. I thought South Carolina played well. If we would have played Saturday South Carolina played the way they played, we'd have lost to them. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I think they're playing. They've made some goofy errors and stuff as well, but I think they're playing better than us. And it's funny on social media where it's like we're all in the same bandwagon right now. We're all in the same boat. We're crying our tears together. But and that's all fun and games until the week of the rivalry week, and then we won't be together again.
Well, the only good thing is the Carolina game has been over the last 2 weeks, I think, before Clemson's been beat.
Yeah.
So
thank goodness.
Anywho.
Anywho. All right. Some other fun games from the weekends, what we like pointing out. We talked Wednesday that the 3:30 spot was loaded. I mean, it was loaded, and they were duds. They really weren't. I mean, they were like blowouts. Georgia pretty much whooped Florida. Oregon, the game that everybody was looking at, the Oregon-Utah game, Oregon whooped them. Just whooped them. So, like, the 3:30 games were blowouts. The night games were okay. There were some Pac-12 games that were exciting. In my opinion, Southern Cal, they have what I call a moral loss. People say, there's moral victories, when you almost beat somebody that you shouldn't even been able to hang around with. If you're the one on the winning side of that I mean, they have 2 losses now, but you get a win, they should have lost. That Cal had to go they went for 2 and they could have tied the game just kicking a PAT. What the heck were they thinking?
They went for the W. I like it.
Don't you go for the win? Were they at home? They were at home. So you go for the win at home. Is that the standard thing?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what they needed? They needed just a smidge more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to w.gg, enter promo code FUNFANS for 10% off, or just scan this QR code. It will take you to direct link for some non-jittery energy mix drink. Any other games we need to talk about, Bailey?
Nah.
Honestly, it wasn't.
I watched a movie last night.
I did the same thing. All right. So since we are ready for the college football playoffs coming up Tuesday, we got our picks up. I'm going to do Bailey's first. All right, Bailey, tell us what you got here.
James Madison and Air Force are tied at number 6 at 8-0. Oregon's 5, Washington's 4 because Washington beat Oregon. Number 3 is Florida State. Number 2 is Ohio State. Number 1 is Georgia, who looked really good at times yesterday. I did watch a little bit of that. And you notice there's one school that's missing from my top 6.
That's on everybody else's.
It's because they steal signs.
They thieves. Steelers.
I'm telling you, everybody does it. They just got caught doing it at a pretty high level. So I'm going to tell you, I used to sit on the other bench and look down there. It's not stealing it if the coach is down there going, 22, 22. And I'd tell my players, this is what they call this, this, and this. So when you hear the coach making adjustments, you recognize it too. That's not stealing signs.
No.
Having a high-level FBI-like person work for you, and all those videos out there online where you can see when he's watching the signals and then he tells the coaches what's going on, they start making all these other signals. And now Clemson is involved in this because they scouted Clemson.
Yeah.
And then Saban supposedly helped somebody beat Tennessee, the Gamecocks.
Not really?
Gamecocks, the only game they wore defensive wristbands was Tennessee last year.
Suspect. Cockadoodle.
Anyway, those are my top 6, and I know that Michigan's in it, but we're trying to have some fun here after a gloomy Saturday.
Yeah, and once again, these are our 6, not what we think the committee's going to say. All right, so.
And shout out to James Madison and Air Force for being undefeated. Yeah. They need some love. The
for
Dukes
sure.
And the Falcons, Air Force won in the snowstorm.
They will get the highest ranked, whatever they call group of 5 or whatever those other conference teams will automatically get a New Year's 6 bowl, right?
Right. Good for them.
So they're definitely playing for something big. All right, here's mine. If you're doing audio only, it's on the screen, but we're going to say it anyway. So this is mine this week. I've got Oregon at number 6. They look like they might be the best team in the country. It's just unfortunate they have a loss. So when it comes to polls and rankings, it's hard to put them ahead of teams that are undefeated.
Sure.
I have the Michigan cheaters on there. So, but I'm with you. We could disqualify them as far as I'm concerned. But they're still out of the playoffs in my top 4. Washington at 4. That was a close game. They had the home field against Oregon. That's Oregon's only loss. Maybe they'll meet again, get another chance, and we'll see. Ohio State at number 3. I'm gonna tell you, they moved up. I had them at number 6 last week. I'm seeing they are good, and they're still doing what we used to do when we were winning national championships. They've got Harrison Jr. They can throw it around. And they can run it enough, and they run it enough to where by the end of the game, they've worn you down, and fourth quarter, they run it down your throat. And it reminded me of, ETN busting 80-yard. Remember when he was like a freshman, he didn't even play till the second half. He never came out until the second half.
It just goes back to my theory. I mean, Trevor and Travis, Trevor and ETN are 6-2 now in the NFL, and he called a touchdown pass today, and Trevor's going to be an all-pro, so you figure it out.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That was good stuff. So they reminded me of us, and so I bumped them up to number 3. Florida State, they just keep winning, and so I don't see why. And they've won some. Ohio State still, they played Penn State, but Florida State has a better resume, I think. And then, of course, Georgia, I'm a little bit old school where they're 2-time defending national champions. As long as they're undefeated, they're number 1 to me, and they definitely look. They definitely look like the number 1 team, even though the resume doesn't look great right now, but they still have the number 1 spot in my opinion. So there's the Fun Fans poll. We'll see what happens Tuesday, and of course in our Wednesday show we can reflect on how if the College Football Playoff Committee got it right or if they got it wrong. But now
we'll let them know.
Yeah, that's right. We can move to the fun, not fun fan experience of the weekend. So. And once again, like I say, Bailey did this for me. You want to do the honors then, Bailey, since you kind of filled it out?
You did the first 2, but hey, Halloween is Tuesday.
Halloween's Tuesday. That's fun.
That's got to be fun.
Raise your hand if you started eating the Halloween candy already. That's me.
I haven't done that, but it sure is good.
Yeah.
And I will say this: we had a big trunk or treat thing week before last at our game, and it was a big community event. So the kids had a good time, but. Halloween, it's going to be cold. There's a record high today and potentially record high tomorrow, and then it's going to drop like 25 degrees. So Halloween should be cold, and it's going to be cold.
Yes.
It's going to be cold the rest of this week. The not fun part of yesterday was being on the losing side of yet another game that the Tigers normally win. Okay, that's end of story. Another fun thing that I'm doing, I call it Stump Burn 2023 because last weekend when James was here, we attempted to light a fire. The wind did not cooperate, so I could begin burning this huge stump from a tree I had cut down back in May. Well, that has been going on now for a week, and I'm going to take some pictures of it when I get done tonight because the wind's done now. I'm going to go out and light it up. Not fun to burn stuff. Not fun for me was having to work a little bit yesterday afternoon by opening up the gym for a rental. And then also at 7:00 this morning, meeting them to open up again. But this is the most fun.
That's right.
Seeing all the costumes at the games.
All right. Which one you want first?
I want the one from Oklahoma game first.
Okay.
So this caught my attention because it's Alf. He's the number 1 Sooner fan. And if you're our age, you know who Alf is.
That's all right.
He was incredible.
Yeah,
he
was great.
An alien. Now, perhaps the best costume that I saw was at the Carolina Texas A&M game. It is none other than Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton.
They look like them.
Talladega Nights. And the Mark Jones was the play-by-play guy. And I don't think he knew who they were. Shame on you, Mark.
Yeah.
That's Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton.
Yeah. That's the best one.
Yes, definitely.
That they showed it at the various games.
And finally, not fun is realizing that the Clemson Carolina game will probably be aired on the Cartoon Network around 10 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
because
So
both teams are struggling. So the Cartoon Network is probably going to pick up that game and play it during Saturday morning cartoon hour.
yeah, the C Dub they're chomping at the bit to get that game. They're loving it.
I like the ref cam when he got knocked down.
Oh, the ref cam's awesome.
Yeah,
You got to give them credit.
Makes me a little dizzy.
you got to give
mean,
C Dub credit.
It wasn't terrible. It's just like watching an old Jefferson Pilot game or Raycom. Same announcers.
It was fine. Hey, speaking of working at your school, I went to work yesterday morning. We had a cleanup day, and at first I was like, wham, getting up Saturday and going out there. But we had some parents show up and some kids. So shout out to those families that showed up and helped us clean up the back area. We trimmed some stuff. And we really did. I ended up enjoying doing that. It was a good thing. And quick shout out. Just don't forget, we're still supporting those ladies at United Row. Got my United Row shirt on. Go to unitedrow.org and help them be a part of their row across the Pacific. And speaking of schools, shout out to the Blue Eagles. Bailey's Blue Eagles are the number 1 5A seed starting the playoffs this Friday. So good job. They pretty much put a whooping on Rock Hill this past Friday and finished undefeated in the region, right?
Yes, that's 8 straight wins.
Yep.
And we're playing.
Going to host Woodmont this
pretty
Friday
good football
night.
Right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. So keep it up.
In other news, the Carolina Panthers are no longer winless.
Thank goodness.
They were the last team in the NFL to win a game, but it's okay. Now I have a quick editorial. Because I saw something that happened at the end of the Oklahoma-Kansas game. Kansas upset Oklahoma, and the fans stormed the field. Matter of fact, they carried off the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple fans and one of Oklahoma's players almost got into it. And somebody got knocked down and things like that. So my editorial is, and I've said it, and I know gathering at the Paul is a tradition. But as an athletic director myself, it is a dangerous, dangerous situation. Something really bad could happen, and it just can be avoided. And I know when fans rush the field, it's hard to stop everybody, but something really bad can happen when all those people run out on the field. So I don't know why we continue to do that. I realize it's a tradition, but it's not a safe one, in my opinion. I'm through talking. I'm off the pedestal.
Well, they're changing the hill to make it safer for these young kids nowadays.
If somebody were to get into it with another football player from another school, it could just be really, really ugly.
Oh, it could be
not
bad.
Enough security people down there to stop it.
The Southeastern Conference, you end up with a $500,000 fine if that happens.
I think I just don't.
The way we do it, it's organized chaos, but there's a purpose to it. Since we do it every game, you kind of avoid the untethered, whatever happens when every time somebody rushes the field after a big win. So that helps, but no, you're not wrong. That's for sure. People need to remember there's cameras going everywhere. So if you do something stupid,
it's just not like, let the players shake hands with each other. A lot of them know each other, but all that's going on. People are running out on the field while those guys are trying to say, "Hey, good game." Hey man, good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a year or so since we played in high school or whatever. But it's just, I don't know. My personal opinion is it doesn't need to happen.
Hopefully nobody,
or
if
at
they
least
make any changes,
let the other team clear the field.
Yeah. We gave them about 2 minutes or something.
Right.
Anyway, somebody will figure it out, and hopefully everybody will continue to be safe. At that is because it is a really good, really cool tradition as long as everybody stays safe. So hang in there, sports fans. You get excited, your team wins, that's great, but don't be going out there doing anything.
I'm rushing to the car. I don't rush. I don't meet at the Paul. I meet at the car. We beating the traffic.
Hey, you know what they need to rush to?
Diamond X Products, man.
Diamond X Products.
Official partner with Clemson University now. You can get all kind of Clemson stuff. They have mastered the diamond laser engraving process, and they can put almost any design on items such as license plates, yard signs, tumblers, water bottles, and much, much more. And it's high quality, forever lasting. So you need to check out Diamond X Products at diamondxproducts.com or email Jalen at diamondxproducts.com. That's JAYLIN at diamondxproducts.com. So get some cool stuff.
Cool stuff. All right, we're going to be coming right back Wednesday, 8:30, we hope. And we usually put some stuff out there. So we're going to talk about Clemson's upcoming game with Notre Dame. It's going to be great. It's going to be at noon. It's going to be great. It's always a great day in the Valley. I don't care. It don't matter. We're going to show up.
I have never lost a tailgate.
I've never lost a tailgate. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope the beginning wasn't too scary. If you missed the beginning, go back and watch it. But you've been warned just in case it's a little scary back at the beginning. But we look forward to spending this official rebuilding year with you. We're going to be here the rest of the season. You need to be here with us. Join us each and every Wednesday and Sunday for the fun. So thanks again for checking us out each and every week. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fan Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social media and share, please. Archive shows can be found on the Fanboys site. And on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
You know what Ricky Bobby said? If you ain't first, you last.
You last.
And you got to shake it before you bake it. Go Tigers.